Hello, good morning, everybody. We are live. We're live on the Smart Money Culture TV network on your TVs in Texas and Louisiana, as well as around the world, streaming on X, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and all the rest of those platforms that are so great. Gosh, there is a lot to talk about today. What a crazy time that we live in. Oh my gosh. I am in a different spot than I normally am here. My lighting's a little funny. I think that'll change as we go forward. Really just unbelievable. Biden sends a Dear John letter to America and resigns. It drops out of the race. He should resign as well. Of course, everyone's waiting for that. But in a letter, in a text, he resigns. I mean, this is I mean, anybody else wondering why it's a letter? I mean, I get he's got COVID or he's sick or whatever, but anybody else wondering where the Clintons are? Am I the only one that's wondering if this guy is still alive? I have a feeling he's not alive anymore. I have a feeling that Joe Biden we're going to get over the next year or two or whatever, they're gonna announce that he's passed and that's it, and he's probably already gone. Now, of course, I've been saying for a long time that that's not Joe Biden from before anyway. So the whole thing is just, I mean, how do you even navigate through this? It's unbelievable, really. It's really unbelievable. And I also think, and I've said from the get-go that he was acting, that Joe Biden was acting. I said this from the very beginning. As soon as he started all this stuff, when he was first elected, he's acting. He's acting. It's a perfect act. It gets him out of any culpability, even the documents case, the documents that he had as a senator. Oh, well, we can't prosecute him for that. He's a senile old man. Perfect. It's a perfect way out for him. And that's what I've said from the beginning. Even if he is an actor, then that even if he's not really Joe, it's a perfect way out. It's a perfect way out. And that's what I've said from the beginning. The whole thing was an act. Who knows? We'll never know. Probably, unfortunately, but just absolutely insane. Markets are lively. They're back and forth as soon as Biden sent the Dear John letter. The markets tanked for a little bit. Of course, it was over the weekend, so not all the markets were open. But initially, we did have a wick down. Dow futures are currently up at the moment, slightly. Crypto markets are up as well. You know, it looks to me like we're about to have a pretty nice, with the world as it is right now, hard to say, but it looks to me like we're about to have a pretty nice bounce on the alts and probably Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin up nearly 1% on the 24-hour. On the 1 hour, up 30%. Ethereum has gained, even as I was putting the show together, almost about flat from yesterday, but that was down about 0.3. Everything seems to be bouncing. I think things are about to bounce pretty hard. Toncoin has taken a bit of a pullback, down 2.3. There's a few other ones like that are down, but I think everything is really about to bounce hard, including the alts, which have been a lot of the alts have been kind of bleeding. Not so much the blue chips, but a lot of the smaller alts have been bleeding. When people are, unsure about things, then a lot of times that's what happens. So I will bring on our good friend Matt. I got a little bit of a late start this morning. We've been doing the Annie play, or not Annie, Sound of Music. So I've been doing the Sound of Music with my girls, and that's been pretty fun. Oh, I got to talk about this though, even before I bring Matt on. So the Simpsons have predicted, I think, this. Well, first of all, let's talk about this FBI director woman. This FBI director woman has been pretty much identified here as FBI Assistant Director. And this is pretty big. She was Mrs. Diguiseppi, the insider threat at the FBI's headquarters in D.C. Most recently, Mrs. Diguiseppi was the special agent in charge of the Albany field office in New York. Janeen Diguiseppi. So this woman, she garnered a lot of attention because as the shooting broke out, she just started casually videotaping. And I said, look, if you haven't been shot at before, this, sometimes you don't know how to react. Most of the time, you don't know how to react when you first get shot at. So I was one of the people who said, well, look, we don't know this and that, but this is the video of her. Let me just play this. This is from one of the.
No, watch this shit, dude. Watch.
Oh Lord.
Watch.
Okay, hold on.
She sits down. Yep.
Hold on a second. I had to mute this tab here. Here we go. So we're just going to watch it. Okay. So this is the woman. This was recorded from somebody.
No, watch
live.
This shit. No, okay. Watch this shit, dude. Watch. Watch. She sits down. Yep.
So this woman
puts the sign up.
Got a lot of attention because, watch, now as the shooting breaks out, look at her. She's so calm.
She's completely normal. And then watch.
And then what does she do? She starts videoing.
What the fuck? What the fuck? People are freaking out. And she's filming. And she's just like right there. She's not even freaking the fuck out.
You see?
What the fuck? No. Watch this shit, dude. Watch. Watch. She sits down. Yep. Watch this.
And this isn't like we're not obviously, people are just doing this on their own. But if you look at,
she's completely normal.
Her right
and then
there,
watch.
And then
what the fuck? Frame. What the fuck? People are freaking out. She's not even freaking the fuck out. What the fuck? People are freaking out. She's completely normal. And then watch.
And then shots go off.
So if you look at her right here, maybe we have a better shot of her. Okay. I don't know if I can do side by side on here, but that's her. So take a look at her right there. And then you look at her right here. Hold on here. All right, I had this queued up. Sorry, guys. Where is she? Here he is. Boom. Well, there's kind of the side by side. Anyway, I'll pull that up. Janeen Diguiseppi, and this was done by a citizen journalist. This is not but that looks to me like the same woman, and it would explain why she was so calm in doing that, right? Pretty crazy. So that woman, we do believe, has been identified. Now, I did also say that the Simpsons predicted Kamala Harris. Now, that's a big deal. I mean, the FBI, look, I don't think at this point that anybody really doesn't think that the intelligence agency, which we're in on this deal, which is pretty remarkable, that we're still on our butts sitting, right? And not doing something else. Simpsons, boom. But now, the Simpsons also predicted, oh, here it is right here, yes. Look at this. Now, this is pretty nuts. I'm going to share this tab instead. Now, in a Simpsons episode that they predicted that the first woman president, and this is how they depicted her in a purple thing, in a purple suit with the same stuff. Now, I mean, this is just crazy. We live in crazy times. Now, The Simpsons has often predicted certain things like this. And the founder of the Simpsons, from what I understand, is Freemason. Freemasonry is the Freemasons have to tell you, that's one of their codes or whatever. They're supposed to tell the world before they do something, right? And they'll use different ways to predict it. They have to basically publicly declare things. And so there you go. And that's pretty interesting. And he has done, they have predicted a number of different things. And that looks like that might be one of them because, I mean, of course, now we have Joe Biden has stepped out of the presidential race. Well, then how does he still stay president, right? So probably, like I said, who knows if he's even still alive at this moment. I don't know. So maybe he's going to pass away, or maybe he has to just drop out or whatever. And that would give us our first woman president. She'd be Kamala Harris. Biden has endorsed Kamala Lala, as I call her. And, but that doesn't really mean that much, I think. I'm not sure if the party is going to coalesce around her or not. I think that if they do, it's kind of a, she's going to be the sacrificial lamb, as I say. Now, if they do change it and they make, if Hillary Clinton is going to be the running thing, or then she's going to be the ticket, I think they're really going to go for it. All right, let's bring on the great Matt Dixon. Sir Matt, the great, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. It looks like you're having lighting problems as well, huh?
Okay, well, I'll move around. I think it's because it's such a sunny day for once.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not usually sunny over there. It'll probably only be sunny for a few hours, though, in London. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
30 minutes, 2 hours. That's all you get.
Yeah, so, got the lighting sorted, I think. Yeah, so interesting news. What we expected, I guess, from Biden, long time coming.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was the vice president, isn't it, who's now not got the nomination, has she, or something?
So I mean, it's like we go through this nomination process and everything like that, but it really is the electors who choose, and they don't have to follow. So I mean, it is actually still totally constitutional for them to pick whoever they want at the convention, at the DNC convention. So We'll see. There is a lot of talk of Hillary making another run for it. I know she wants to. She is a bit of the crown jewel. She sold. I was watching Julian Assange. I even put up one of his interviews yesterday. I put up a video of Hillary dancing, something that they said, oh, yeah, she's going to go. And, of course, it's got like 1 million views. Alex Jones reposted it and said something about nursing homes or something. So that sent it, but it was already going viral. But Julian Assange said that she increased the exports in arms by 100% while she was in office in US dollar value. And so, I mean, we're like the biggest arms selling place around. So I'm sure that's attractive. She would probably have the best chance of winning kind of anybody. She has everybody in her back pocket. She has the whole machine behind her, but it's also hard to see. I mean, she was falling a few times. We all have that seared in our memory, but she does seem to be in pretty good shape. And then can anybody beat Trump anyway? It's kind of hard to, he really has captured the hearts and mind, but then again, it will even survive. It's hard to see that they won't try to get him again. So
I mean, it's amazing how transient people can be. They minds can change quickly. So we'll see. It's just interesting. I'm pleased that at least the race is hotting up a little bit.
Yes,
I think it's just a done deal before. It's nice to have a proper race.
It's nice to have a proper race, Matt says. I hear you.
Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about really, so I'm going to go straight into the charts, which I do know a bit about.
Yes, you definitely do.
Yeah,
I'll add you to the screen here. Oh, look at this. The roll. Okay, here we go. BTC.
Yeah, so BTC. I had this charted out actually. I think I mentioned it, and I had it charted. We had a wave 4 pullback, and I said we're expecting a wave 5 to the upside, which is exactly what we've been getting. So we had a really nice run over the weekend, and this is putting some, I'm sure it's putting some profit into people's pockets because it's exactly what we said. Yeah, so that's moving nicely. I think once we finish the fifth wave, we should get a bit of a pullback before the next wave higher. Because it's 5 waves to the upside, that means it's impulsive. That means the direction is still higher. So yeah, we'll get a bit of a pullback, but then we should push higher again. And I still think that we're not far away from the new all-time highs. So I was just looking at the Bitwise. I've actually posted it on my MD Trade X account. Bitwise, we're just looking at the performance of cryptocurrencies versus all sorts of other assets, asset classes and assets and so on over the past 10 years. And crypto has vastly outperformed. And I think that's going to continue. I mean, we've been along a very rocky road, as you can remember. We've had all sorts of problems with FTX and with Mt. Gox. And I think that's probably before that. But anyway, a lot of problems.
It is interesting. Because I have we're doing the play, the Sound of Music, and one of my buddies is, or that's my wife's old friends, and they're here with the family and everything else. He's like, yeah, I doubled my money on my house. I mean, where else can you do that? In like 3 years or something. And I was like, well, in crypto, you can do it in a week. He's like, really? Like, go ahead.
It's possible. So, I mean, last night, I'll just show you, I'm jumping around a little bit, but I'll just show you, I went short on Book of Memes. And I've been saying to people, I've been saying on this show for a long time, it's a great one because it's got amazing liquidity. It's actually got some use case behind it. And I could just see a clear wave count here. So we've got in blue wave 1, wave 2, and then wave 3 is made up itself of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're pushing up. So last night, I was up late and I did some sells around where this little arrow is, waiting for some downside. So we got some really nice downside overnight, and I closed my position. And we're getting near the top, I think, of this current cycle, and I think we'll then get a bit of a turn down. Again, because it's 5 waves, like Bitcoin, it'll just be a temporary pullback, I believe, and then pushing up higher again. So right now, my bias is kind of to short the market, but I'm being very, very cautious because you never know, we could get another extended 5th wave to the upside. So I'm being cautious, not overcommitting. Small positions, and I'm doing what they call scalping at the moment. So I'm just taking small, relatively quick trades. So I didn't leave that running all night. I don't like leaving trades running. It's too much risk. Yeah, it's too much risk, and you never know what's going to happen. So yeah, just took a bit of profit on that. I did the opposite with Sol this morning, actually. So I actually bought Sol this morning, and I'll just show you the Sol chart. It was very nice. I bought down here, looked like a correction if I looked on a shorter time frame. I bought at 177, which was 177.20, I think I bought. Near the bottom of that, and we've moved up quite a bit. We're already 179. So again, just scalping, not looking for take any longer term positions just at the moment. So what I want to do is wait for decent pullbacks in the market and then add to my position DCA or dollar cost average, and basically just average into my long positions because I'm still bullish on this market. I still think it's going to go a lot higher, but we're going to have pullbacks along the way. That's just natural and to be expected. And so, to actually add to longer term long positions, I'm just waiting for decent pullbacks. So I think that, as we said, with these other assets that we're getting close to 5 waves up, we should get a decent pullback then. And that's where I'll really be looking to add to those long positions. But right now, I'm just tinkering around the edges, scalping a little bit here, a little bit there. Just it's good opportunities in the market for these short-term trades. So we've had, again, even Litecoin is pretty much the same. We've had, again, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. And these are, Litecoin, wave 4 down, and we're pushing up in wave 5. So that's going really nicely. But we have had, again, just looking at the different, I'll probably go back to, even Book of Memes was actually a really good one to show you. Again, we had some really good Fibonacci extensions. So, for example, I measured the wave 1 in red here, the internal wave 1 of wave 3, so the red wave 1 here, down to wave 2, and the extension, again, was just beyond 1.618. times that wave 1 up. So again, it's a really nice extension. So I love it. When I see these Fibonacci, especially when I see the 1.618 times the wave 1, that's always a good time for me to take profits, because what you ideally want is wave 1. Wave 2 is normally a deep pullback, as we can see here with the blue wave 2. It's a big pullback, normally at least 61.8%, or sorry, normally at least 50%, but normally around 61.8. So I just measure from the top to the bottom there. The pullback was actually well past the 0.618. I've actually got that in reverse, but it's past this 0.618 here. But wave 2 pullbacks are normally deep. So with that in mind, that is the time to jump into a long position. When you've seen a wave 1 up and you get a wave 2 down, that's the time to jump in, because wave 3s are normally the impulsive wave, which goes at least 1.618 times the wave 1. So if you can get into wave 2, DCAing anywhere around these spike levels into the wave 2, both here and here, this internal wave 2, you can jump into positions here and here, and then you know wave 3 is going to go at least 1.618. So you've got a really good target then, some really good profit. And then the wave 4 pullback is one where I'll usually just be, what I'm doing now, just scalping the market really. So we've seen dollar index again. I said we're probably going to at least retest this support zone, if not break it, because I'm expecting higher in crypto markets. We'll break it slightly longer term. Short term, it may just be a retest. But obviously what's going to really, I think, impact the dollar is the interest rate decision. We're going to have PCE before that, and that's the Fed's preferred measure of inflation. So we'll see what PCE is. If PCE is weak, then the Fed is going to be dovish in their commentary. I don't think they're going to change rates at the end of this month. So the meeting is 31st of July. So we're only now, just over a week away, aren't we? 22nd now. So it's just over a week away, 9 days or something.
Yeah, it was premature to change rates at their lower interest rates at this point.
Yeah, it would be premature. But whilst it'll be premature, they may well give what they always try to do is signal in advance. So the market is not such a shock to the market. The market can prepare in advance. So the market, what it does, it actually takes that as though the decision had taken place. If they intimate the decision's going to be probably next meeting, then the market takes it as read that that's going to happen. So we'll see what they say. And I'm hoping they'll get some more probing question and answer, in the Q&A session. Hope they get some probing questions. As I've said, I've complained a few times that they just seem to be towing the line and not really putting them under pressure, putting Powell under pressure. He should be pressurized to give us clear answers as to what their expectations are and why they've done what they've done. And you said this all along, haven't you, Bruce? Even, about, questions over the Trump thing. Questions need to be clearly asked and answered.
And answered. Like there's like so many. We're just gonna like that in the news cycle just moves even on X. It's like, I mean, it comes out and then the news cycle is just so fast. There's so much more information and everything else. Everybody just moves on. It's like I just had the video of the woman that did. She's like so casually videoing the assassination attempt on Trump, and she's pretty much been identified as an FBI assistant director. And it's like, where's the accountability? What was she doing? Why is she just sitting there so casually videotaping with her phone? Like what? Yeah. Craziness.
Yeah. I'm just looking at Ethereum. Ethereum's obviously in the spotlight at the moment because we're expecting the ETF finally going live, the final approval and going live possibly as early as tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be. It may be another week away. I don't know, but it's very close. When that happens, I think before it happens, I think we're going to get continued push up, and I don't think we'll finish this wave 5 at all yet. This is not the finished wave 5. We're just beginning, I think, this wave 5. So Ethereum will be in correlation with the rest. So that's why I think Bitcoin and the rest still have this wave 5 to complete to the upside before we get a pullback. I think, interestingly, ironically as it may be, the Ethereum will probably pull back after we get the ETF going live.
Of course. I mean, it's what everything else is done.
Yeah, it's always buy the rumor, sell the news. So basically, people are buying the rumor right now. So Ethereum's rocketed really from this low point here of 2008. We're now up at 3,500. So it's moved up really nicely, and we'll probably move up some more to 3.6, 3.7. Who knows? Push up some more. But then once the news comes out, we'll probably get a bit of a sell-off. But that, I think, like Bitcoin, if you remember back to Bitcoin when the ETF went live, it actually sold off initially against a lot of expectations, but it's actually should be what we expect because it's always buy the rumor, sell the news. It's one of the most reliable indicators we get when we're expecting some news to come. When the news actually hits, you get the run up when the rumors are there. When the news actually hits, you get a reversal. So that happened with Bitcoin. We got quite a strong sell off once the ETF went live, and then it bounced back again. So we still have got a long way to go, or some way to go, to hit the all-time highs. But that movement down on Bitcoin, we'll just flip back to Bitcoin there. Just look at it slightly longer term. So I'll look at maybe a weekly chart. Probably shows it quite well when I open it out. Maybe weekly is too, no, it's fair enough. So you can see really on the weekly chart from the all-time high, it's a corrective move down. It's basically just an ABC move down. We know it's ABC and not 1, 2, 3 because the subsequent movement up here has gone into the territory. What if you had counted it as wave 1? It's gone into that territory, so that's not allowed. And the candles are actually looking really nicely bullish. I think I'll probably go onto the daily to show it in a little bit more detail there. To show the move down, that's much clearer. Yeah. So we can see very well there that it's all corrective. It is all overlapping choppy movement wherever you're looking. So it may be a 335 of some sort. I mean, I can see this is some kind of 3-wave down. This is actually a 3-wave up, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. So that's what we counted. So that's a beautiful 335 is what's called a flat correction. And in the scale of things, it is actually relatively flat. It's actually descriptive, the term, when it says flat, because you've got this upward movement, steep upward movement trajectory with the price in the impulse. Then the flat, it's a correction, but it's relatively flat. 335 is a relatively flat correction. And as we said before, it actually came down perfectly to this, this long-held parallel channel support. So price bounced pretty well off that precisely. And we also had regular bullish divergence, indicating price was going to bounce from there, which is precisely what it did. Now, from there, after a correction, you're expecting impulsive movement to the upside. And that's exactly what we've seen. Again, opening it out a little bit, we can see that we basically had a wave 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, 4 down. And we're still working on this 5th wave to the upside probably. So whilst we're getting a bit of a down morning at the moment on Bitcoin, I think we'll see that reverse. We should push higher. And that should align with the Ethereum, again, probably the pump before the news comes out. But then we'll get the pullback. So if you're thinking about Ethereum going to pull back on the news, well, Bitcoin will probably correlate with it. And who knows what's leading what, or whether just directly correlated and move together. But we should, after 5 waves up, you would expect to get a 3-wave pullback. So we had this big 3-wave pullback to here, and then we've started with a 5 wave to the upside. Now, whichever way you count it, 5 waves can be either a wave 1 or it can be wave A. But either way, you would expect either a wave 2 pullback or a wave B pullback. So once this 5th wave is complete, you're expecting a pullback in 3 waves, most likely 3 waves. And by the way, if it is 3 waves, well, you would know, for example, if it were in a triangle, in an ABCD triangle, you'd know then this was just a wave A and not a wave 1. So as the waves unfold and develop, it actually gives you clues as to where we are. So if it turned out to be a triangle correction here, you would know this was wave A, this was wave B, and you know there's just a C wave to the upside before we get more downside. But if we have 5 waves up, 3 waves back, then whichever way it is anyway, you're expecting then more upside. So we can tell just from looking at the structure of the wave count where the market's going next. We can't always tell the precise levels, but it gives us such a strong indication of where we're going next that it really helps us to get our risk reward right. Just jump into gold. Gold's had a bit of movement, moving a little bit positively. So we did have a bit of a sell-off, and I think that's...
And silver's selling off right now, fairly interestingly, below $30.
What, silver? Yeah. I mean, I did post something again. I'll probably just jump into it here on my X feed, which was, we've touched on this before. I'll just jump straight down to the chart. There it is. This is one I've shown before, looking at the Fed funds rate, and the gray areas are the recessions. So we can see exactly where we're at, and we can see the level bit here where we've been stuck at 5.5% on the Fed funds rate. But every time we get a peak in Fed funds, you can see a recession follows, but you can see it's very like this movement up here. And we got the flat, and then after the flat, we then get a recession after it. Even with the here, a flat, and then after it, we get the recession. And here, a flat area, then a recession. So basically, interest rates level out, then you get the recession. Whether they level out or whether you get a peak. So we had a peak here, and then later on, you get recession. So it normally happens after every time you get a peak, that shortly after you move into recession. And that's because the Fed, I guess they have to move on data. They can't actually anticipate stuff. They like to be able to prove that the data is actually driving them. They're not anticipating. I think it would be better for the economy and better for industry if they were to anticipate better. So they're too much like a big tanker right now. They have to wait until they see the problems ahead, then they turn. But like a big tanker, the economy takes a long, long time to return and to respond to changes in interest rates. And that's exactly how the Fed are. It will be better. I mean, we can all see that this has happened almost every single time in the past, 70, 80 years or something. Almost every time. There's been one or two occasions where we've seen a peak in interest rates that's not resulted in recession, but it has still resulted in a slowdown in the economy, even if it's not recession. So I think it's happened, every occasion except one, really. But even there, we did have a slowdown in the economy in the 80s, late 80s. Sorry, we had a slowdown in the economy, which was, didn't fall into recession, because recession's a technical thing. There's a technical measure of recession. You still have a slowing economy without actually having recession. So even if we don't get recession now, we're going to get slowing of the economy. So that slowing of the economy will result in lower interest rates, and that is going to result in a pump in risk assets. So jumping back, that's why, by the way, gold took a bit of a fall, because there's a lessening expectation with interest rates. Fed Chair Powell did say that they're going to be looking at lowering rates now sooner rather than later. And that's why silver is an industrial metal. It's one that's used a lot throughout industry. So if we're seeing an economy slowing, there's going to be less demand for silver. And so silver is a really good leading indicator for the economy as well. And it's good to look at all the different assets, all the different data things like interest rates and so on, and just see how they're related, because that actually gives you, it's like jigsaw pieces again, gives you a much clearer picture as to where we're going with the economy. As I said, I'm just looking through. There's a couple that I'm interested in. As I say, Book of Memes was one I just shorted last night. I think that we're again close to a peak. I think we're going to get a good sell-off there. When we get Bitcoin selling off, and I'll just go shorter term on Book of Memes there. It's been a tremendous asset, provided some tremendous returns to the upside. I still don't think we've finished this. We've still got a bit higher to go for this fifth wave here. So, as I say, as we run up to the ETF, the Ethereum ETF, we should get a further push higher, which should give us the final bit of this fifth wave. That's when I'm really looking. So I shorted, as I said last night, from this red arrow. I've already closed those positions. I'm waiting now for another push up, and I'll probably look to short again. And I love Book of Memes because it has tremendous liquidity. So I can get in and out of positions very, very easily without any slippage. And the prices tend to move really quickly and aggressively. And traders usually love volatile markets. Book of Memes is a real one with volatility with great liquidity. So it's one of my favorite assets to trade, especially when I'm scalping like this. You get some good movement very quickly. So that's pretty much it for today. Right now, so far this morning, we're getting a bit of a sell-off across the board. That often happens. We had a really strong weekend. And I think now a lot of the markets are opening. There's profit taking, just simple profit taking. So it's nothing serious. I don't think it's a major overall turn in the market. but it's just a bit of healthy profit taking, I think. And as I say, I took profit this morning after the Book of Memes sell off last night. Took profit, and I will look to probably enter shorts again if we push up higher again. And I'll actually be looking, if we push up in this fifth wave, I'll be looking to short maybe across other areas of the market, not just there. I don't put all my eggs in one basket. I'll be looking at, so what I'm saying, longer term, I'm looking at buying the dips in the market for the long-term positions, but short term, because I think we're getting close to, I'll be looking at selling the peaks in the market. So I have kind of opposing positions. Long term, I'm looking at picking up, as I say, in the troughs, whenever the market sells off, I'll look to add to the long-term positions. But short term, I can take opportunities, and I'll be looking to sell the peaks in the market. So I think it's a great way to trade. It's actually, in a way, a good way to hedge, and you can actually take profits out of the market going both ways. Your longer term positions, you tend to get in at the lower levels, and you can just hold those positions and add to them whenever you pull back. But you can also at the same time be selling peaks in the market, even on the same asset, you can sell the peaks. So in a way, you're actually getting more out of the market, and you're not overly exposed, because if you're basically trading long from here but short from here, you have a net zero position from here. All you're doing is, when the market pulls back, you're not losing anything, but you're not risking anything either. So for me, that's another little great tip I picked up over many, many years to reduce your exposure to the market and actually milk more out of the market of the actual movements within the market. So I think these are just useful little tips to have. And then TON, getting a little bit of a pullback. Again, I think there's still probably higher to go with TON. This is all very choppy movement we're seeing. This is particularly choppy from this little peak here. So yeah, we may have a bit lower to go, but I think there's higher to go still with TON. One of our favorites.
It should bounce, I feel like, from here. Like you said, it might go a little bit lower, but it should rebound.
Yeah, it's again, if I were to look to see if there's any divergence there, I'm just looking. No, there's no particular divergences at the moment, but even so, you can see I've got my arrow already in there. I'm expecting quite a bit higher with TON, quite a bit higher. So yeah, we may still get a bit more of a pullback, but again, if you're positive crypto, and we saw that with that Bitwise I just showed you before, how much it's outperformed traditional assets. So if you are a believer, a crypto believer, then longer term, it looks as though you're going to outperform all the other assets by a massive margin. So even if you don't want to trade, actively, as I say, just build these long-term positions. When you see a market pullback, just add a bit, whenever there's a pullback, and you're building long-term positions. And over the past 10 years, using crypto, you'd have outperformed absolutely massively. As I said, I didn't show the Bitwise one. That's actually probably worth showing. Just very briefly, that's the last one I posted, I think. Here, this is the Bitwise performance of crypto versus major assets. So we can see here, this is 10 Bitwise, the crypto index, the 10 largest cryptos by market cap. It did 40% return. And then we've got US equities 15%, gold 12%, emerging equities 7%, commodities 6%. So you can see massive difference. And so longer term, I think this is probably only going to get the difference will probably only get bigger, because we're seeing, the Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF, the probably a Solana ETF next, and that brings more and more institutional money in. And you can actually see the correction here that we're seeing. But even despite the correction in crypto, and this is at the same time, by the way, we're not seeing quite the same correction in equities, but even despite this correction, we're still seeing the massive outperformance in crypto over traditional assets. So when we start to emerge out of this big correction, ABC correction that we've seen, and we start to see crypto and Bitcoin rising back again beyond all-time highs again, then this will only accelerate and exaggerate the difference even more between crypto and traditional assets. So it's a really bullish outlook, and I think it's just again, don't put all your eggs in one basket, but definitely it's worth having good crypto exposure with good diversification, with good dollar cost averaging processes. And I think you'll do very well. So that's a wrap for today. We'll look forward to the upcoming Ethereum ETF. It's penciled in maybe as early as tomorrow, but I think may drag on a little bit. We'll see. But it's going to affect the market, so we need to watch closely for the news that's going to come in. But,
amazing.
Yeah. So thank you again for that opportunity to give you an update. As I say, we've been really accurate. If you'd followed us, I think you'd have made some good money. So thank you for listening, and look forward to catching up again tomorrow.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Matt. It's always a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Cheers. So we have the big Bitcoin 2024 is coming up here this week. Donald Trump, the great Donald Trump, will be speaking at Bitcoin 2024. That is starting on Thursday, the 25th. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, you want to go ahead and get those. You can use code Impact Money, get a 10% discount on your tickets there. Bitcoin 2024. This is going to be absolutely crazy. I mean, the big guy in town speaking at Bitcoin 2024. Absolutely, really just unbelievable that it is going to happen. And I've said it a number of times. President Trump, the first Bitcoin president, first, he is fully now taken the reins here, and he is he wants the crypto vote. He's got the crypto vote. Actually, he's got most of the vote anyway. But anyway, check that out. I did not think that I was going to be able to make it, but actually I may be able to slip in there. I'm doing the show, of course, The Sound of Music, with my daughters, so it's a little tricky for me, but I think I'm going to be able to get in there. I just won't be able to stay the whole time, but I will be there. It looks like I will be there. So make sure to get your tickets there, and if you haven't already, get that settled and done, and I will see you there. Make sure you're there for the first part, and that's going to be crazy. I mean, President Trump speaking at a Bitcoin conference. I mean, I've seen it all. Guys, we made it, we made it. President Trump speaking at a Bitcoin conference. I just don't even know what to do with myself. Absolutely insane. Talking as well about some of the other amazing pieces and people that we work with, these Coin Vigilante watches. Coin Vigilante watches. These are beautiful American-made timepieces. They're absolutely just stunning timepieces. I wear this myself. I wear these watches myself. Just share my screen here. He's got they have great site. Use code Impact Money. Everything's Impact Money. Use code Impact Money. Let me see here. Vigilante watches. Where's my tab? Here we go. To get 10% discount off on these. This isn't exactly the one I wanted to share, but this will work. This will work just fine. This is their media kit. Coin Vigilante watches. You have the information right here. Info at Coin Vigilante. You have their phone number. About us. Founded in 2021, Coin Vigilante brand originated from the idea of creating a high quality watches that are inspired by Bitcoin, designed in the US and worn in over 45 countries. Our goal is to craft unique timepieces that signify the importance of sound money for those who wear them. A reality, a movement that shows the world what we stand for. Our journey becomes a reality after launching a successful Kickstarter campaign where we raised 6 figures from backers across the world who believe in the movement. Now, this is also backed by the great Bitcoin Ben, my friend Bitcoin Ben. You guys may have seen me out there speaking. I need to have him on the show. I know it's a little early, but I need to have him on here. It's a little early in the morning, I know, for him. Facts and statistics, although he probably wakes up early. I think he wakes up early. He works all the time. Facts and statistics, founded in 2021. Some of this stuff I just went over, just beautiful timepieces that we have here. I am going to pull up. I'm going to go ahead and pull up their website here. Coin. All right, it doesn't want to do it from there. So I will go here, boom, share this tab, bam. Coin Vigilante watches. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful, beautiful watches. As I mentioned, I do wear this myself. An absolutely unbelievable watch, American made, quality. Had this sent to me. I got one for my wife as well. Make sure you use code Impact Money on that and get your 10% discount. Coin Vigilante watches. Now, one of the things that is sometimes hard for people to get their heads around is that they don't know how to store crypto, right? They don't know how to store it. How do I store it? Well, I don't understand it. They say, I don't understand it. Well, we have partnered with Tangem Wallet. Tangem Wallet is a hardware wallet. Okay, very slick wallet. Tangem, your wallet, slim as a bank card, secure as a bank vault. Store, buy, earn, transfer, and swap thousands of coins and tokens right there on the deal. Starts at about $50. You can get that. Use the code Impact Money. Get 10% off. It works with your phone as well. Okay, but you get your keys. You get your private keys. And but it has some RFD technology, and you just tap it right there and use that. Morning, good morning. I didn't see your message there earlier. Good morning. Well, don't worry, we've been doing the show a bit longer these days. But this Tangem, Tangem, very nice wallet. Works very well. They're adding a Visa or MasterCard to this as well. So you're going to be able to easily spend your crypto, because that's the other part, right? Not only do you want to be able to store it, but you want to be able to spend it. And that's a very important part of it. So make sure to check them out as well. We have been selling a number of these, so that's great. Always appreciate you guys taking care of the people that take care of us. Tangem Wallet, the Tangem Wallet, we are big supporters of that. And you can add all types of different currencies in here. You just go in there, you add, especially if it's like a main blockchain like Ton or Ethereum or Solana or something like that. If you have one of those tokens or memes or something like that, you just put the contract address in there and you can store them safely. And it comes with a number of different cards. You can either get the 1 card or the 2 card. They also have a ring. Check this out. Now, this is cool. And this has been very popular. The Tangem ring. Experience the future of crypto wallets. Look at this, guys. It's a ring. Look at that, huh? It's a ring. And you wear the ring, and that's your wallet. It works the same way with the RFD, okay? And you get your wallet, your seed phrase, and everything like that. 3 unique devices, 1 hardware wallet. So you can get the set consists of 1 ring and 2 cards. And so you can make sure you always have either one, you have your crypto with you right there on your ring where you can send it, spend it, whatever you want. And then 2, you can have your backups saved for you. Maybe you have one in a safety deposit box. Maybe you have another one in your own safe. And that way you can keep that stuff safe. And remember, you're the one with the secret keys on this. So private keys are stored. And, if you don't ever want to give them up, you don't have to give them up. I mean, that's the great thing about crypto. That's the great thing about crypto, right? Is you are your own bank. You're your own bank. Okay. And we got to end the Fed. Really, really important. So I wanted to dive back a little bit. And I am pretty excited about getting to Bitcoin 2024. I'm excited about that. So I wanted to dive back into just a little bit of Joe Biden and this absolute craziness that he has done here. I mean, I'm not at all surprised actually that he dropped out. I mean, my wife and she was like, I can't believe it. And she's like, actually, I can believe it. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, so this is the letter that he sent, and I'm just going to read it for you guys here. Let me just see if I'll pop this up on the screen. So this is the Dear John letter. The Dear John letter. My fellow Americans, over the past 3.5 years, we have made great progress as a nation. Today, America has the strongest economy in the world. We've made historic investments in rebuilding our nation, in lowering prescription drug costs for seniors, and in expanding affordable health care to a record number of Americans. We've provided critically needed care to millions of veterans exposed to toxic substances, passed the first gun safety law in 30 years, appointed the first African-American woman to the Supreme Court, and passed the most significant climate legislation in the history of the world. America has never even been in a better position to lead than we are today. I mean, I don't know how in the world putting somebody just because their color on the Supreme Court, passing gun laws, which is against the U.S. Constitution, and climate change, which most of us don't even believe in, is good. But okay. I know, he continues, or whoever wrote this continues, I know none of this could have been done without you, the American people. Together, we overcame a once-in-a-century pandemic and the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. We protected and preserved our democracy. We're a republic. We're not a democracy. Where was I? And we protected and preserved our democracy. And we've revitalized and strengthened our alliance around the world. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. It was just interesting the way he said it to, or whoever wrote this. And while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus. I don't know. It just seems weird. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision. For now, let me express my deepest gratitude for all who have worked with us so hard to get me reelected. I want to thank Vice President Kamala Harris for being an extraordinary partner, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so yeah, absolutely insane. We have here Dear John letter from the President of the United States stepping out of the presidential race, written by someone other than himself. Of course. I mean, it is so obvious it was written by someone other than himself. It's almost like a call for him to step down. I don't even know if the guy's still alive. I mean, let's be realistic here. I don't even know if he's still alive. I don't even think that's the same Joe Biden from 20 years ago anyway. I think it's been an act this whole time. But certainly extraordinary circumstances that we have going on here. Just absolutely unbelievable. So then the next question, of course, is, okay, so Joe steps down, or he's out of the race. But then if he's stepping out of the race, then how in the world can he continue as president for the next 6 months or however many months? It's not 6 months. Let's see here. It's September, October. 4 months. Someone else said 6 months. Wild times indeed. But how can he continue as president? It's not like there's nothing going on. Like we have war that we're involved in the Ukraine in Eastern Europe with Russia, who is a formidable opponent. We also, now NATO is opening up a field office or whatever you want to call it over in Jordan, which is, of course, right next to Israel. So it looks like we're opening up more of a front over there. So we have, war in the Middle East. We have war in Eastern Europe. And of course, we're just dying to get Taiwan into this. And then we'll be in a war in 3 different continents. And so how in the world can we have a president who can't even, put together a sentence kind of being in charge? And then even worse, we get Kamala Lala. I mean, we're screwed. We should really just have a snap election. That's what they do over in many other countries. And again, I'll put this up here. That is the Simpsons predicting the first woman president. And look how closely they dressed them. They dressed whatever the girl's name was for the show. And then that was what I think Kamala wore for the inauguration. Pretty crazy, huh? The Simpsons has predicted a lot of different things over the years, including, I don't know, just a lot of things. Actually, it's worth looking at because they have Simpsons predictions. They have predicted a lot of stuff. 21 times the Simpsons predicted the future. This is worth looking at because it is really something else. Okay. Throughout the 35 seasons, with more to come, the Simpsons have served up hundreds of thousands of jokes, blah, blah, blah. Maybe it's odd. Harry's situation. I'm not really interested in that one. Hip hop meets the symphony. There's some here that are very, very interesting. Tiger trauma. Oh, this was when in the 1993 episode of Springfield, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love Legalized Gambling, the Springfield equivalent of the magician Siegfried and Roy were attacked by a white Bengal tiger during one of the shows. What happened in real life in 2003? Roy Horn was attacked by a white Bengal tiger during a Siegfried and Roy show, leaving him partially paralyzed. So that was one that you might know. There's future phones, video phones. That was pretty easy. Future formula. In 1998 episode of The Wizards of the Evergreen Terrace shows aspiring inventor Homer standing next to the chalkboard that boasted a massive equation. What happened in real life? The equation on the chalkboard was impressively close to predicting the mass of Higgs boson, aka the God particle. When it was discovered in 1912, if you work it out, you get the mass of the Higgs boson. That's only a bit larger than the nanomass of the Higgs boson actually is. Let's see here. The pandemic, mayhem. They predicted that. Yeah, Obama drama. This was the machines here. What happened in the 2008 episode, The Tree House of Horrors, which aired prior to the next year's presidential election. Homer attempts to vote for Barack Obama on an election voting machine, the magic electronic machines, but the machine registers him for John McCain 6 times, actually. What happened in real life in 2012, the news outlet, including MSNBC, reported that an electronic machine was revealed to be swapping votes from Obama to the Republican nominee Mitt Romney. Spies like the U.S., sport of corruption. There's just more here. There's some that really jump out at you here. Underwater disaster. In 2006 episode, this was this first prize. Here it is. There it is right there. Jump on Trump. What happened in The Simpsons? In the 2000 episode, Bart to the Future, a peek into the future showed Lisa Simpson as president of the United States, telling her staff, as you know, we've inherited quite a bunch. Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Oh, my gosh, listen to this. We've inherited. I mean, this is crazy. I'm getting chills. As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump before she is told by the Secretary of State, Milhouse Van Houten, that America is broken. Predicted President Trump. That was in 2016, Trump was elected president. 3 years after his term, America wasn't broken, but the stock market did experience some of the biggest single-day losses during the coronavirus pandemic. And to be fair, he had considered runs for POTUS back when the episode was written. Pretty crazy. So they predicted President Trump. And of course, the way that she got in office, this is an old article that was written. I've read this before, but she also assumed office, I think, because the president died. So she didn't get elected, just like Kamala would take. Olympic glory. There's one that I really wanted to. Anyway, you get the picture. Pretty crazy. They predicted a lot of different things. The Simpsons. Hold on here. Wild Times. Did Simpsons by chance have any predictions about 9/11? Never watched Simpsons, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know either about 9/11. I think if they did, it would have probably been on that article. So I'm not sure. Inherited, exactly. So pretty interesting stuff. I want to talk a little bit more about this FBI agent as well. Before I dive into that, our friends over at Polka Gold launched Dalgo. Of course, you know we are long on Polka Gold and we're long on Dalgo. Polka Gold. Now, Polka Gold, interesting thing about Polka Gold really is, well, a number of things. But one is their locked liquidity. So this was started by some Polkadot and Algorand whales. And they locked all the coins as well as liquidity in smart contract for the DEX. And so the only way you can get any of it is to buy it. And it has very good liquidity because everything was locked way back when. So even here, this was 2 hours ago. P Gold, which is the coin, P Gold has the highest trading volume. Hold on, let me switch back to this tab. This is on their X account. P Gold has the highest trading volume for the last few days across Algo DeFi. That's Algorand decentralized finance tokens. Staking pool APY, annual percentage yield, is currently an impressive 31% with only 20-hour lock on Cometa Hub. Go ahead and follow those guys. The TVL market cap ratio is near 1-to-1, making them high rewards on a very liquid commodity. So we have had a bit of a retrace on the price of this as we launched Dalgo. But you can see, I mean, there's for TVL for the hold on here. That's for the. It's impressive that they had a bit of sell-off because, of course, everybody buying and trading and all this other stuff, and it didn't move that much. And actually, this is the total locked value, 734,000. This was a couple hours ago when they posted this, but really impressive. I like and probably not financial advice and all that stuff, a pretty decent entry point as well on the Polka Gold. And they launched their own meme coin. It's pretty impressive. They launched their own meme coin. Let's go. P Gold and Dalgo fam. Excellent news. This was also 2 hours ago. The lily pond is hopping. We've submitted our application listed on CoinGecko. Our request is this. Of course, CoinGecko will I'm sure listing them very soon. Dalgo is it's a fun meme coin. I am long on this Dalgo. It's done well. It went up 100%, and then a bit of a pullback, of course, as we do. Let's see here. There we go. It's fun. It's a fun coin.
Hi, Michael Saylor here. Now on a regular day, I'm happiest hanging out with a group of Bitcoin miners. But this miner, Digger Dalgo, down here in the P Gold mine, they're one hell of a serious excavation operator. But Digger wasn't always the chiseled Dalgo he is today. Once upon a time, he was an adventurous miner, tirelessly searching for gems in an old, dusty mine with nothing to show for years. But one day, fortune smiled upon him. He stumbled upon Polka Gold, a commodity so rare and dazzling he couldn't get enough. And just like that, Digger transformed into a legendary Dalgo himself, proving that even a humble miner can hit the jackpot with a bit of persistence and a lot of hopping around. Like Digger, my company MicroStrategy went from digging in the dirt to striking crypto gold with Bitcoin. And now you can too with Polka Gold cast from the same mold as Bitcoin. But instead of digital mining rigs, this gem of a nugget is dug by hand by the one and only Digger Dalgo themselves.
Anyway, I do think so. Dalgo right now has both of these, the Dalgo and Polka Gold, have like the largest TVL, which is total locked liquidity, I think, on the algo ecosystem, or if not one of the most. So even as we kind of bounce around, I think each pullback is probably a good entry point to move on that. And I think as the market moves up, it's going to have a pretty nice move here. The Polka Gold is sitting a little bit under 1 million right now, and the Dalgo is sitting at about 250,000 market cap. So you can really, and it has, I think, even it's got liquidity up the wazoo, because of course they locked 10% of the total, or more than 10% of the total Polka Gold, locked it forever in liquidity. So I do expect both of those to continue up. Do your own research, but I do think that these are going to be pretty awesome. How can I find that Simpsons article? Just Google Simpsons predictions, and then you can hit Control P on your computer, and that will send it to your printer, or you can print it up on a PDF or something like that. Always nice to have you here watching and talking and coming back and forth with us. So that is the Dalgo. Of course, we are pretty long on that. Now, if I wanted to go back here to the sunglass woman. I feel like this sunglass woman needs to be a bigger, this needs to be bigger news. Let me just pull that up here again. The sunglass woman. Here we go. So take a look at this. And, you know, I don't know. So I'm going to pull up the video again. So here we're getting more info on the woman in the pic behind Trump that didn't flinch when the shots came in and instead started recording Trump. We now know she is Janeen Diguiseppi, an assistant director of the FBI. Repost this. Now, again, I don't know if we actually know that, but it does look like that is the same person. I would say that's probably the same person, especially the way she acted. She is right here. That's a pretty clear shot of her right here. Do you think that's the same person? I think that's the same person. And it would make sense. Let's watch that video again. Here's the video.
No, watch this shit, dude. Watch. She sits down. Yep. Watch this.
Watch.
Puts the sign up.
So as shots start going, boom, you see him move down.
She's completely normal. And then watch.
Pulls out her camera.
What the fuck? What the fuck? People are freaking out.
And she's filming.
And she's just like right there. She's not even freaking the fuck out. What the fuck? No. Watch this shit, dude. Watch. Watch. She sits down. Yep. Watch. She sits down. Yep. Watch this. Puts the sign up. She's completely normal. And then watch.
And then she's got her.
What the fuck? What the fuck? People are freaking out.
And she's filming.
And she's just like right there. She's not even freaking the fuck out.
Initially kind of, yeah, this is a better video. Let me share this tab instead. Here we go.
Puts the sign up.
Hold on. Let me just, I to mute the tab because this guy. Actually, I don't need to mute the tab anymore.
Watch this shit, dude. Watch. Watch. She sits down. Yep. Watch this. Puts the sign up.
Take a look at what happened.
Shots fall off.
She's completely normal. And then watch.
And then she's got her.
What the fuck? What the fuck? People are freaking out.
She's filming.
And she's just like right there. She's not even freaking the fuck. Watch this shit, dude. Watch. Watch. She sits down. Yep. Watch this. Puts the sign up.
Take a look at what happened.
She's completely.
So everybody's going down. And then there's
what the fuck?
Recording now.
What the fuck?
This has been apparently
right there.
community noted, and they say it's not her.
She's not even freaking the fuck. Watch this shit, dude. Watch. Watch.
I don't want to be community.
She sits down. Yep.
Title. But
watch this.
Sure looks like
puts the sign up.
To me.
Take a look at what happened.
Shots fall off.
She's completely normal. And then watch.
Back up here, side by side.
What the fuck?
Said it's not.
What the fuck?
Her.
People are freaking out.
And she's filming.
And she's just like right there. She's not even freaking the fuck. Watch this shit, dude. Watch. Watch. She sits down. Yep. Watch this. Puts the sign up.
Maybe it's not. Who knows? Pretty interesting. What do you think? Let me make it a little bigger for you. Maybe not. Could easily be, though. We'll never know, right? If you go back before the shooting, she appears to know and acknowledges two other people in the same area. It doesn't sit right. No, it doesn't sit right. That is for sure. Definitely does not sit right. A lot of things about that don't sit right, don't they? Yeah, a lot of things about it don't sit right. What do you guys think? Tell me what you think. If you're watching on YouTube, let me know what you think. If you're watching on X, let me know what you think. Or, of course, LinkedIn. Let me know what you think. Of course, LinkedIn got mad at me the other day when I ran Trump's full speech. I thought that was kind of funny. First time. Now, one of the, of course, we talked a lot about the TON blockchain, right? The TON blockchain. We've talked a lot about TON. And TON is in a bit of a retrace at the moment, although I am expecting it to move up nicely. I am expecting that move. TON coin. Here we go. Just load up this tab here. So TON coin is number 7, I think, in the whole crypto ecosystem. Have a very impressive number of different assets that are being built on it. One of those assets is dog or flower. And this is a pretty fun one. Let's see here, dog or flower. Pull up the website here. Dog or flower. Oops, I'm glad we didn't do that. Okay, here we are. Let's see here, dog or flower. This is your dog or flower. It's one of these fun ones here. Let me just see if we have. No. Okay. Dog or flower. Now, this could end up being the token, the doggy coin, or the Dogecoin, the meme coin on the TON network. This could end up being the big one here. They have about $1 million market cap. They have a nice move. They have a great community. And this is another one. I am long on this one, dog or flower. I think the Ton ecosystem, Ton has had a little bit of a pullback, but of course that's always healthy. And of course, when the major trading pair has a pullback, usually the rest of the ecosystem pulls back. So Ton has a pullback. This one has a pullback. Might be a good entry point. Not financial advice and all that good stuff that I'm supposed to say. I do get, I get paid to do the show and to do post and everything like that. All that stuff. Full disclosure, but I do think that this is a nice one. I think that they have a great community. Actually, I know they have a great community, and I know a lot of people that are involved in it. And it's a cool, fun token. Let me just take you over to their X. Actually, I posted about them. Let me just do that from my post numbers manager. Dollar or they trade under or dollar or networks. And sure, here we go. Here we go. Meme culture on the Ton blockchain is exploding. I've spoken of Ton on the Impact Money Show. Hopefully you listened. Dog or flower may end up being the dog with hat of this network. Or at a 1 million market cap. Check them out, and they are, cool. Yeah. Fun meme coin. I do think that with what they have behind them, that this could really go. Really, the larger ecosystem of these coins has not really exploded. We haven't really had a alt season, as they say, and that will come. Probably we are. It'll come as Bitcoin really shoots up to new all-time highs, which will be above 74K, but it could really come at any time. Historically, we have a big move down, which we already have, and then as it goes up, rising tide raises all ships, right? And so that's what we're looking at. And when that happens, I mean, these altcoins have not gotten to their all-time highs. Most have not even near their all-time highs. And when that happens, that is going to be pretty epic. We're going to see a lot of, and maybe that'll happen after if the Fed comes out dovish, the privately held central bank, which I talk about all the time. If the privately held central bank comes out dovish, the Federal Reserve, on the 31st, then we could be that could be what makes everything fly. So I talk about the Rothschild's tax. The Rothschild's tax is inflation. I wrote a song about it too. So I haven't seen my band, my guys. I haven't seen them since. Maybe I'll see them actually in Nashville, because it looks like I'll be in Nashville. I was thinking I couldn't go, but I think I'll be able to go. The Rothschild tax. The Rothschilds, there's 11 families that own the Federal Reserve, and most people don't think the Federal Reserve is owned. If you Google it, it'll tell you, no, the Federal Reserve is not owned. The Federal Reserve is public, and this and that and the other, and all these other things. And it'll say, well, it's owned by, several other banks, the majority of them. And then if you just, you don't have to look that far or think that hard, but if you look at who holds those other banks, then you start to put together who owns the Federal Reserve. Okay. We're not talking about stuff. It's not hard to do here. Okay, folks. So it's the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Morgans, the Warburgs, Goldman Sachs, Lehman, Kuhn Loeb, Lazard, Israel Moses Sieff, Schiff, and Stillman. And these are the families that own the Federal Reserve. And this is why we are unable to get anything done. I have a band. It's really their band, and I wrote a song, and now I'm singing with their band. Yeah, I wrote this song, the Rothschild tax. The Rothschild tax. It comes off our backs. The Rothschild tax. Whoa, set me free. Whoa, stop taxing me. Yeah, I'll do a performance here in a bit. I do need to practice with the guys though. But in 1913, and maybe I haven't played it in a little bit. Maybe I should go ahead and play this actually. So the central bank, wow, I want to hear it. I need a good recording of it. I was jamming out and one of my friends, with some of my friends here, and we have a recording, but I'm not really that happy with it. You'll hear it very, very soon. But most people, they don't understand really what the central bank is, how we got it, or anything really about it. And so there's a clip here that I play. It's just a few minutes here, and it is worth watching. The central bank. I think this is it. Let me put it right here. Boom. Oops, it didn't work. This is what the central bank is. Let me just here we go. Boom.
So what is a central bank? A central bank is an institution that produces the currency of an entire nation. Based on historical precedent, two specific powers are inherent in central banking practice: the control of interest rates and the control of the money supply, or inflation. The central bank does not simply supply a government's economy with money, it loans it to them at interest. Then, through the use of increasing and decreasing the supply of money, the central bank regulates the value of the currency being issued. It is critical to understand that the entire structure of this system can only produce one thing in the long run: debt. It doesn't take a lot of ingenuity to figure this scam out. For every single dollar produced by the central bank is loaned at interest. That means every single dollar produced is actually the dollar plus a certain percent of debt based on that dollar. And since the central bank has the monopoly over the production of the currency for the entire country, and they loan each dollar out with immediate debt attached to it, where does the money to pay for the debt come from? It can only come from the central bank again, which means the central bank has to perpetually increase its money supply to temporarily cover the outstanding debt created, which in turn, since that new money is loaned out at interest as well, creates even more debt. The end result of this system without fail is slavery, for it is impossible for the government and thus the public to ever come out of the self-generating debt. At this time, the dominant families in the banking and business world were the Rockefellers, the Morgans, the Warburgs, the Rothschilds. And in the early 1900s, they sought to push, once again, legislation to create another central bank. However, they knew the government and public were very weary of such an institution, so they needed to create an incident to affect public opinion. So, J.P. Morgan, publicly considered a financial luminary at the time, exploited his mass influence by publishing rumors that a prominent bank in New York was insolvent or bankrupt. Morgan knew this would cause mass hysteria, which would affect other banks as well. And it did. The public, in fear of losing their deposits, immediately began mass withdrawals. Consequently, the banks were forced to call in their loans, causing the recipients to sell their property, and thus a spiral of bankruptcies, repossessions, and turmoil emerged. Putting the pieces together a few years later, Frederick Allen of Life magazine wrote, "The Morgan interests took advantage to precipitate the panic, guiding it shrewdly as it progressed." Unaware of the fraud, the Panic of 1907 led to a congressional investigation headed by Senator Nelson Aldrich, who had intimate ties to the banking cartels and later became part of the Rockefeller family through marriage. The commission, led by Aldrich, recommended a central bank should be implemented so a panic like 1907 could never happen again. And in 1913, with heavy political sponsorship by the bankers, Woodrow Wilson became president, having already agreed to sign the Federal Reserve Act in exchange for campaign support. And 2 days before Christmas, when most of Congress was at home with their families, the Federal Reserve Act was voted in, and Wilson in turn made it law. A world banking system was being set up here, a superstate controlled by international bankers, acting together to enslave the world for their own pleasure. The Fed has usurped the government. Now, the public was told that the Federal Reserve System was an economic stabilizer, and inflation and economic crises were a thing of the past. Well, as history has shown, nothing is further from the truth. The fact is, the international bankers now had a streamlined machine to expand their personal ambitions. For example, from 1914 to 1919, the Fed increased the money supply by nearly 100%, resulting in extensive loans to small banks and the public. Then, in 1920, the Fed called in mass percentages of the outstanding money supply, thus resulting in the supporting banks having to call in huge numbers of loans, and just like 1907, bank runs, bankruptcy, and collapse occurred. Over 5,400 competitive banks outside of the Federal Reserve System collapsed, further consolidating the monopoly of the small group of international bankers. Privy to this crime, Congressman Lindbergh stepped up and said in 1921, "Under the Federal Reserve Act, panics are scientifically created. The present panic is the first scientifically created one, worked out as we figure a mathematical equation." However, the panic of 1920 was just a warm-up. From 1921 to 1929, the Fed again increased the money supply, resulting once again in extensive loans to the public and banks. There was also a fairly new type of loan called a margin loan in the stock market. Very simply, the margin loan allowed an investor to put down only 10% of a stock's price, with the other 90% being loaned through the broker. In other words, a person could own $1,000 worth of stock with only $100 down. However, there was a catch to this loan. It could be called in at any time and had to be paid within 24 hours. This is termed a margin call, and the typical result of a margin call is the selling of the stock purchased with the loan. So, a few months before October in 1929, J.D. Rockefeller, Bernard Baruch, and other insiders quietly exited the market. And on October 24th, 1929, the New York financiers who furnished the margin loans started calling them in masse. This sparked an instantaneous, massive sell-off in the market, for everyone had to cover the margin loans. It then triggered mass bank runs for the same reason, in turn collapsing over 16,000 banks, enabling the conspiring international bankers to not only buy up rival banks at a discount, but to also buy up whole corporations at pennies on the dollar. It was the greatest robbery in American history. But that didn't stop there. Rather than expanding the money supply in order to recover from this economic collapse, the Fed actually contracted it, fueling one of the largest depressions in history.
Well, it's a little bit of history there for you on the central bank and how it works. And the Federal Reserve has usurped the government. It has sidestepped the government. They can buy out whoever they want. They can print whatever money they want, and everybody is just we can't have it. We have to get rid of it. And actually, Russia and Syria both are not part of the central banking cartel system. Most of the rest of the world is, and look who we're always at war with, right? Yeah, we just can't even stand those guys. Okay, I am signing off, my friends. It is always a pleasure. Live long, prosper. I'll be back in a few hours. Cheers.
Your voice is powerful. When combined with social engagement, it's a force for change. Decentralized media paired with free speech is the catalyst for an empowered world and a unified, invaluable ecosystem. Join Global Boost, become a champion of free speech, and help to reshape the future of media.